Let's cut across live now to Kumar Kunal. He's joining us live from Jahangirpuri. Kumar, take us through what's happening around you. The bulldozer is making its way towards another point, we understand, to continue the demolition drive. Take us through what's happening around you.
बस लाइट चल रहा है, एक मिनट
Kumar, go ahead, we can see you.
अब आपको दिखाएं कि इस समय हम बुलडोजर पर खड़े हैं, यहीं पर जहां पर जहांगीरपुरी में इस वक्त डिमोलिशन चल रहा है। आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से लगातार डिमोलिशन का काम चल रहा है। ये वो इलाका है जहां पर पूरी तरह से सड़कों पर इंक्रोचमेंट हुआ था और यहीं पर ये जो दुकानें बनी हुई हैं बीच सड़क के ऊपर में, जिसका जो यहाँ पर काम है, और आपको देखें कि किस तरीके से पूरी तरह से ये बुलडोजर यहाँ पर सड़क पर अपनी तरह काम करता हुआ है। एक बुलडोजर नहीं है, कई सारे बुलडोजर इस समय काम कर रहे हैं और सीधा जो है इस समय जो डिमोलिशन का काम है वो चल रहा है। बुलडोजर को लेकर के यहाँ पर पूरी तरह से ये बुलडोजर के जरिए यहाँ पर काम किया जा रहा है। आपको दिखाएं कि ये जो बुलडोजर है वो किस तरीके से यहाँ लाया गया है और तमाम बुलडोजर कर्मी है वो यहाँ पर वीडियो भी बना रहे हैं, साथ ही साथ डिमोलिशन का काम कर रहे हैं। पूरी तरह से इंक्रोचमेंट ड्राइव जो चल रहा है वो इंक्रोचमेंट एंटी इंक्रोचमेंट ड्राइव चलता हुआ और यहाँ पर अभी देखिए ये जो छत की तरफ ले जाया गया है बुलडोजर को, ये एक तरीके से जो पूरा स्ट्रक्चर था ये यहाँ पर खड़ा किया हुआ था। ये कोई छोटा मोटा इंक्रोचमेंट नहीं है, काफी बड़ा इंक्रोचमेंट है जो कि पूरी तरह से ध्वस्त किया जा रहा है। यहाँ बुलडोजरों को लगा करके ये पूरी दीवार तोड़ी जा रही है और दीवार तोड़ करके जो मलबा है वो दूर गिर रहा है। इसीलिए पुलिसकर्मी यहाँ बुलडोजर के पास से लोगों को हटा भी रहे ताकि किसी को कोई चोट नहीं आए। लेकिन ये साफ तौर पर है कि किस तरीके से इस समय जो एंटी इंक्रोचमेंट ड्राइव है, जो जिस तरीके से अतिक्रमण किया गया था, पूरी तरह सड़कों पर दुकानें बना दी गई थी, कई मंजिला दुकानें बनाई गई थी, उन तमाम दुकानों को तोड़ा जा रहा है। पूरा तरह एक्शन इस समय यहाँ पर जहांगीरपुरी के बीचों बीच एक्शन से भरपूर। यहाँ पर तमाम जो एमसीडी कर्मचारी हैं वो इस समय बुलडोजर पर अपनी जगह बना करके, और ये जो पीला पंजा है वो लगातार हरकत करता हुआ जो अवैध अतिक्रमण है उसको तोड़ता हुआ, और ये सड़क के बीचों बीच है। यहाँ पुलिस बल की कितनी तैनाती की गई है ये भी हम आपको दिखाएंगे। किस तरीके से जो तमाम एमसीडी के सीनियर अधिकारी हैं ये यहाँ पर हैं, आप लोग सीनियर अधिकारी हैं, किस तरीके से हटाया जा रहा है। तो ये वही बुलडोजर है जिस आपको दिखाएं कि किस तरीके से ये पूरा बुलडोजर इस समय हम बुलडोजर के ऊपर तैनात है और पूरा बुलडोजर इस समय अपना काम करता हुआ पूरी तरह से इंक्रोचमेंट को ध्वस्त किया गया है। कई सारी जगहों से हटा भी दिया गया है और कई जगहों से हटाने की कार्रवाई अभी फिलहाल चल रही है। तो इस समय साफ तौर पर ये पूरी तरह से अपना काम करता हुआ एमसीडी, पुलिस फोर्स, पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेज का ये दस्ता, और यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से लोग मौजूद हैं अपना काम कर रहे हैं। ये यहाँ आप लोगों का ये आपकी दुकान क्या है? एमसीडी में आए हैं, किस तरीके से क्या कार्रवाई करने के लिए कहा गया है?
ये तो ठीक है, कार्रवाई जो गलत काम होएगा तो होएगा यहाँ।
तो पहले आप लोगों ने इसको के खिलाफ क्यों कार्रवाई नहीं की थी?
अब क्या करें, नहीं हो सकती कार्रवाई, क्या करें। पहले कही थी हमने, सारा गंद होता था यहाँ, कूड़ा कबाड़ दुनिया भर का जमा होता था। हमने नगर पार्षद को भी बोला था हाँ भाई यहाँ से ये सब हटाया जाए। जब कोई सुनाई नहीं करता तो
कोई सुनवाई नहीं
होती है।
तो अब आप बुलडोजर लेकर के आए हैं,
सरकार प्रशासन आया है,
अब सरकार बता रही है। तो यहाँ से ये जो है एक जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसको तोड़ा गया है और यहाँ से अब जो बुलडोजर है उसने रुख किया है दूसरी तरफ का। ये जो बुलडोजर है साफ तौर पर अधिकारी ही पोल खोल रहे हैं कि पहले भी इसके बारे में शिकायत की गई थी, लेकिन निगम पार्षद और जो कि वहाँ पर निगम में जिनका शासन था उन्होंने इसको हटाने नहीं दिया गया। अब आनन फानन में ये तमाम तोड़फोड़ की कार्रवाई की जा रही है। तो लगातार एक्शन के विजुअल यहाँ ग्राउंड जीरो पर किस तरीके से काम चल रहा है, पीला पंजा पूरी तरह से यहाँ पर काम करता हुआ बुलडोजर, जो कि कई राज्यों में देखा गया कि पिछले दिनों हरकत में आया, अब दिल्ली में भी हरकत में है। और यहाँ पर एमसीडी, पुलिस और तमाम अलग अलग महकमों के जो लोग हैं वो इस समय बुलडोजर पर चढ़ करके जो भी अतिक्रमण है उसको हटाते चले जा रहे हैं। तो ये लगता नहीं है कि फिलहाल रुकने वाला है, क्योंकि 2 दिनों की अनुमति मांगी गई है। सिर्फ आज के लिए अनुमति नहीं है बल्कि 2 दिनों के लिए है। तो ये एक तरफ से जब तोड़ा गया था, अब दूसरी तरफ से भी ये पूरा डेमोलिशन का काम करने का इस समय किया जा रहा है। हम थोड़ी दूर पर इसलिए जा रहे हैं क्योंकि इस समय जब डेमोलिशन चल रहा है तो कई ईंट पत्थर वहां पर गिर रहे हैं, तो सुरक्षा के कंसर्न्स है। लेकिन साफ तौर पर जो आपको तस्वीरें दिखाई पड़ रही है वो ये दिखाने के लिए काफी कि किस तरीके से बुलडोजर अपना काम लगातार कर रहा है। एमसीडी की और गाड़ियां, यहाँ पर गाड़ियों की तादाद बढ़ा दी गई है, जो कर्मचारी हैं वो आ रहे हैं। तो पहले हम पुलिस की तैनाती देख रहे थे, अब साथ में साथ जो कूड़ा ढोने वाली ट्रक है उसको भी लाया गया है, क्योंकि यहाँ से मलबा भी हटाना जरूरी होगा। तो मलबा को भी हटाने के लिए साथ ही साथ काम शुरू कर दिया गया है। तो संवेदनशील इलाका, क्योंकि हिंसा हुई है 2-3 दिन पहले, इसके बाद लगातार गिरफ्तारी हुई है, तो एक साथ ही कई सारे बुलडोजर को, जो हम कहते हैं प्रेस इन एक्शन, लगातार काम करते हुए इस समय आपको एक्शन में ये पीला पंजा, अलग अलग जेसीबी मशीन्स यहाँ पर दिखाई पड़ रही होंगी आपको कि किस तरीके से ये पूरी मशीन इस समय यहाँ पर पूरा हटा रहा है। अब एसीपी भी मौके पर मौजूद है। एसीपी साहब, क्या सुरक्षा को लेकिन सुरक्षा को लेकर उसको लेकर क्या कर रहे हैं? तो ये एसीपी है दिल्ली पुलिस के जो यहाँ मौजूद किए गए, तमाम सीनियर अधिकारियों को यहाँ पर डिप्लॉय किया गया है, यहाँ लगाया गया है, ताकि जो माहौल है वो शांतिपूर्ण बना रह सके, कंट्रोल में रह सके। क्योंकि जिस तरीके से यहाँ पूरा माहौल अशांत हुआ था, उसके बाद सबसे बड़ी चुनौती ये है कि शांति व्यवस्था भी
we just got your report there from Kumar Kunal, who's showing us what exactly the demolition drive looks like where he's standing in Jahangirpuri. Let's take this back across to Shreya Chatterjee. Shreya, you were telling us earlier that where you're standing, the demolition drive had kicked off, particularly targeting all properties lined up on the sides of the roads. Hello. Shreya, can you hear me? We'll reconnect with Shreya in just a bit. Understandably, there's a lot of chaos on the ground. A lot of people who've gathered there, the police personnel present, and amid all that, these bulldozers also continuing to make their way into the by-lanes, inside these lanes, and targeting every single illegal property that's been identified so far by the civic body officials. About 100 officials also are present there. You see many of the people on the left of your screens there, locals who are hiding inside their homes, scared to step out right now, and extremely worried that their belongings, their properties are also being targeted. Let's take this back across to Shreya. Shreya, you're with us. Take us through what's happening where you are. You were telling us earlier that, all the shanties on the sides of the lanes were being targeted. Are homes, are properties also being demolished now?
No, Akshita, as of now we only see those illegally encroached shops on the roads being targeted, and you can very well see that they are being completely razed down. Akshita, one thing I want to point out to our viewers is the kind of glass bottles that are falling from these shanties. Remember, on the day of the Hanuman Yatra, when that clashes broke out, there were bottles, glass bottles thrown. One person was also arrested for producing and procuring these glass bottles to help and assist the pelters. And when this shop broke today, we saw a barrage of these glass bottles that fell from that very shop. We can very well see the kind of action that is happening on the ground. The bulldozer is going one by one, racing across all these illegally encroached shops on both the sides of the road. This is Kushal Chowk in Jahangirpuri, the road that leads to the CG block where stone pelting happened. Very road, Akshita, where stone pelting took place on 16th. And today we see the bulldozer on action, which is right now razing the shops which were illegally encroached. And one by one, One, we saw a stall, a shop which is of cold, of food and water that was actually raised down. This is a juice shop just at the corner of Kushal Chowk in Jahangirpuri that was raised down. I can't help but tell our viewers how when this shop broke, there was a barrage of glass bottles that actually fell. You can see those visuals. Why is it important? Because glass bottles were also used by stone pelters on the day of the clashes, and today when this shop broke down, we saw those glass bottles falling, very clearly pointing at the kind of action that the MCD is right now overtaking here in Jahangirpuri. The bulldozer is waiting one by one. They are raising all the shops, and here is the man I want to also show you who's in action, in charge of that bulldozer. One by one, he is following the orders and raising these shops that the MCD officials say have been illegally encroached. I'll try and get a quick word from some of the MCD officials as well. Sir, आप लोग सारे illegal जो मकान है उसको एक-एक करके
जितने भी यहाँ पे अतिक्रमण किया गया है सबको साफ किया जाएगा।
ये सारी जो दुकानें हैं या फिर घरे भी टूटे?
नहीं, जो घर नहीं, जो रोड के ऊपर अतिक्रमण किया गया है, जहाँ से आम आदमी को चलने में बड़ी दिक्कत होती है, जिनके यहाँ से गाड़ी निकल पाती है, कोई पेशेंट जाता है उसकी एम्बुलेंस नहीं आ पाती है, तो सबको तोड़ के यहाँ पे हटा।
आप लोगों ने कितने दिनों से नोटिस देके रखे थे? कितने सालों से नोटिस देके रखे थे?
पहले भी उनको नोटिस दिया गया था, पर कभी कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई थी। अब थोड़ा सा कार्रवाई की गई है।
आज और कल मिलके आप
ये अभी 3 दिन का, और ये अभी 3 दिन का तो टाइम बॉन्ड रखा गया, आगे भी इसके आधे से बढ़ सकते हैं। और
आज कितने टूटेंगे ऐसे दुकान
अभी
अगर आप बता पाए?
नहीं, अभी ऐसे कुछ नहीं बता सकते, लेकिन लगे हुए हैं कार्रवाई करने के।
कितने बुलडोजर है आज ग्राउंड?
आज करीब 7-8 बुलडोजर लगे हुए हैं, सारी ट्रक वगैरह गाड़ी है, सारा स्टाफ यहाँ।
सारी इसी रास्ते को भी तोड़ोगे या फिर दूसरे भी कोई लोकेशन?
नहीं, जो भी आसपास जितना भी इलीगल चलेगा, आज जहांगीरपुर में जो भी इलीगल है सबको हटाया जाएगा।
MCD के साथ?
हाँ, MCD।
As you heard this MCD official speak exclusively to India Today, he categorically mentioned that it's a 3-day activity permission that they have right now sought. The shops that are illegally encroached on the roads will be broken, will be raised down, and that is action that will continue for 3 whole days right now. Follow-up action can also happen, he categorically said. He said that they were also sent notices for quite a long time. They never acted on time, is why today they had to take this action. This is an official voice, an official reaction from the MCD official from on the ground, who very categorically mentioned that how these shanties on the roads will be raised because of the fact that these shanties, it is very difficult for people to move on the roads, for cars to move around. These are illegally encroached properties, and that was an official version coming in from the MCD. Akshita, over to you.
So the MCD maintaining that these are all illegal properties that are being targeted. Obviously, there are going to be questions of why this wasn't done earlier. Very right step taken by the civic body in targeting these illegal properties. Lawfully also very much right. But the question is, why now? Why did it take a riot for the Delhi civic body officials to reach there with their bulldozers and target all of these properties? And that's why it's being referred to as bulldozer justice right now. We are trying to also ascertain whether, there are particular targets of the officials. It doesn't seem to be the case right now. They are targeting all illegal properties, and that then will demolish claims by the opposition that there is targeted bulldozer justice, that it's not just about illegal properties but the accused properties which are being targeted. As we continue to get you all the updates from the ground, I want to take this across to Kumar Kunal as well. Kumar, I think the bulldozers reached about an hour back. So for 1 hour, this demolition drive has been going on, and largely they've been clearing off all establishments, lining up roads of Jahangirpuri.
Exactly, and there are many case studies who are running their shop for years now, and one of those shopkeepers, we are with us. आपका क्या नाम है? He is removing his all the belongings. नाम जरा बताइए क्या है? लाइव कर रहे हैं।
मेरा नाम रमन झा है।
क्या करते थे आप यहाँ पर?
हम यहाँ पान की दुकान करते हैं।
कितने सालों से?
भाई साहब 35 साल कितने बार बताऊं एक ही बात को 10 बार
35 साल से ये दुकान करते हैं. So he is running his shop for last 30-35 years, what he is claiming, and he is also performing pujas locally, and there are some puja material in his shop which has been also destroyed. He is collecting all these materials from the rubble right now. So this was his shop, which is now in a shattered condition. It has been all broken. He is just now collecting whatever he has in his shop. So this is not just a kind of encroachment removal which was told to be against a particular community. There are several other shops, other encroachments also which are being removed just right here. You can see that how this bulldozer is at work. We are getting the action visuals from ground zero, that how the encroachment removal is continuously going on for now last 1.5 hours. Many of the approach stairs are also being broken. You can see some of the female members are standing at their home with their kids, but now there is no approach stairs for their home left because those stairs were broken now. So how they will come out of their home, that is a big question. So all these things are happening here at Jahangirpuri, where a kind of violence happened on Saturday. But now the local authorities who were sleeping all those years, they are not concerned about the encroachment removal. Now suddenly they wake up and they are coming here with their bulldozers, big bulldozers, and they are not even asking for how long you are working here, for how long you are living here, in what conditions you are living. So be it case of Hanuman Jayanti or the case of other occupiers here, they are facing a tough time. Although this is obviously an encroachment, but under which behest these encroachments happen, that is also a major question. Why they have not been removed when the encroachments were happening? So under the political pressure, these encroachments were not removed for years, and now suddenly after the violence, the huge MCD force along with the police force, they have come up in this area and they are removing the encroachment. So is it mere an optics to show that yes, we are serious against those who have done the violence, or merely a political pressure as it is happening in other states like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh? Bulldozers are seen at work. So there was a political pressure to apply bulldozers even at the capital. So all these questions will remain here, that why it has not been done earlier when the encroachments were actually happening, and what Hanuman Jayanti was claiming that he is running his pawn shop from 1985. So if for so many years this shop can run, then why suddenly without any notice this is being removed? तो आप लोगों को कोई नोटिस भी दिया गया था क्या झाजी? आपको कोई नोटिस दिया गया था?
नहीं, कोई नोटिस नहीं है. आज मैं सुबह से 3 बार बोला हूँ कि मैं हटा लूँ दुकान, मगर इस जगह पे मीडिया की गाड़ी, पुलिस की गाड़ी थी, मुझे हटाने भी नहीं दी.
So what he is claiming that he has not been allowed to remove his shop from here. This is a roadside shop, and you can just imagine that what kind of financial problem, financial stress he will go on. Because it is the only way how he used to earn from here, and now it has been removed. It is completely broken. His wife is also crying. So there are pertinent questions that why certain people are being targeted who are not at all involved in the violence. If the action against violence is taking place, then there should be some intimation. They must be given a chance to clear all these belongings. So even though they are quite poor of the poorest, they have not been given any chance to remove their belongings. And what is the scenario here? That everything is destroyed now, and now they are left with no other option but to recollect those items which are lying there in a broken way. So all these police forces, they are standing here. They are only the spectators, mere spectators right here. They are here for the law and order situation. But this is a two-way sword. Although the encroachment removal is a welcome exercise that should happen at all the places, but why this area is being targeted, that is well known to us since the violence happened on the Saturday evening. That's why these bulldozers have come to these places.
All right, let me quickly cut across to Shreya, who's currently at the spot in Jahangirpuri, to give us a little perspective. Shreya, give us an understanding. The bulldozers there in Jahangirpuri mowing down many of those illegal encroachments. Of course, the timing is a big question here. Give us an understanding. What are those areas that are currently being razed down?
Well, first we saw that at Kushal Chowk, there were two of those shops on the road, which is said to be illegally encroached, which was mowed down. Now, the bulldozer has reached the CD Block Road. This is opposite to the masjid. I'll ask my cameraman to show you. That is the masjid where the stone pelting happened, as has been alleged by the locals. And now, here you can see that very JCB that is mowing down those illegal shanties. Now, across the road, I'll ask my cameraman, across the road, there are illegal settlements that will be coming in the way of this JCB right now, today itself. We also got you visuals when the people of this very shanties, they moved their valuables, they moved their cylinders, they moved their other items like fridges. And right now, here, JCB is in action. You can see it's removing all these scraps. Yet again, one more thing to point out, that the alleged mastermind of this attack, Ansar, he has been claimed to have a business of scrap. All that you see lying down are scraps. These are people who have scrap businesses, and right now it is the scrap materials that are being taken away by the bulldozer here. Now, whether or not these are the scrap materials, that is also the same business that belonging to the alleged mastermind of the Jahangirpuri riots, we'll have to get a clarity. But these are scraps, and this is on the same road where the stone pelting happened, very near to the house of the Delhi mastermind Ansar's house. And right now, all these scrap materials are being taken away by the bulldozer that is in action. I believe, and I'm told by the officials, आप लोग पूरा इस रास्ते में जाओगे, so they'll be moving through this very road, the CD Block Road. We also spoke with that MCD official before, and I'll just give you the visual. That's the masjid you see. That's where the alleged stone pelting begun. Here is where the bulldozer has already reached, removing the scraps from the road, removing all the materials that lies on the road, including the illegal shanties that will also come in the way of this very bulldozer.
All right, Shreya, we understand that the BJP-run Delhi Municipal Corporation is now carrying out this massive anti-encroachment drive. They've also reached out to the police to give about 400 police personnel just as security to maintain law and order around that area. But have we seen any kind of backlash coming from those areas? Because when we saw Jahangirpuri violence case, when the police reached the spot to probe the accused, try and arrest some of those who had escaped, were absconding, many of those locals came out and literally blocked off ways for the police to enter those areas, not allowing them to investigate the matter. Today, while we see this anti-encroachment drive, are we looking at resistance coming in from the locals?
Well, no, there has been no resistance. The reason being that there was adequate security. I'll ask my cameraman to also show you the paramilitary forces who have also stationed atop the houses here in the CD Block Market area. This is the adequate security preparation that the Delhi police and the other forces have kept in place. They sanitized the area. There was a drone movement where they got all the visuals of the rooftops, whether there are any stones or any such items that have been kept or stored to protest when this demolition drive was to be carried. But as very definitely we see that that's not happened as of now, because obviously the preparation on the ground, the adequate security on the ground was very different, and that is why you can see that there's been no resistance as the bulldozer carries out its work.
Of course, allegations coming in on the timing of this demolition drive. How did the Delhi Municipal Corporation not realize that these are illegal encroachments all the years along? What prompted them to come by just right after the Jahangirpuri communal clashes to come by and act on the illegal encroachments?
Very pertinent question, because there is no two sides to it, because we saw that Delhi BJP State President Adesh Gupta first writing a letter saying that please take action and demolish the illegal properties of
Breaking
the
news coming in,
rioters.
Shreya, stay with us. Here's Bulldozer Drive showdown that escalates in Jahangirpuri. Now the top court, Supreme Court says Jahangirpuri demolition drive to be stayed. This is the Supreme Court's order. A stay order has been given on the Jahangirpuri demolition drive. Remember, we're looking at the Delhi Municipal Corporation that's run by the BJP, who's now carrying out a massive anti-encroachment drive just around the area of where the communal clashes unfolded on Saturday evening. Now, while the matter has reached Supreme Court, the top court has stayed this massive demolition drive being carried out by the Delhi Municipal Corporation. Here's big news coming in. India Today tracking those developments on ground. Our reporters bringing us all those details coming in from the communally sensitive zone where the massive anti-encroachment drive is currently underway. Supreme Court now staying the Jahangirpuri demolition drive at this moment. We're looking at tensions brewing along that area. In fact, the matter reached the Supreme Court, and now we hear Supreme Court has ordered status quo in the Jahangirpuri demolition drive. This is a massive demolition drive, an anti-encroachment drive which the Delhi Municipal Corporation run by the BJP was carrying out. In fact, they reached out to the police department. A letter was given. In fact, the Delhi Municipal Corporation had also asked for adequate security, noting that there could be some kind of tensions and a law and order situation. 20th and the 21st. These are the 2 days that the Delhi Municipal Corporation reached out to the police saying that they are going to carry out a large-scale anti-encroachment drive at the communally sensitive, at the violence-hit Jahangirpuri area. And now, while the matter has reached Supreme Court orders status quo, stays this demolition drive in Jahangirpuri. Shreya, Supreme Court now stepping in, stays the Jahangirpuri demolition drive. Give us an understanding who's reached the top court. Who are those who appealed for intervention? At this point, we hear that the Supreme Court has issued a stay order on this massive anti-encroachment drive.
Well, Nabila, first and foremost, I want to say that probably the news has not reached Jahangirpuri as the bulldozer is continuing its work. We did try and get a word from the MCD officials over here, but definitely that word has not reached, and that the Supreme Court has ordered a stay order on this particular demolition drive. We heard 2 petitions were filed before the Supreme Court's Chief Justice bench, one for demolition being done all over India and a separate one for Delhi. So there were 2 such petitions. There has been a stay order, so we will know that there will be no demolition happening today. Tomorrow, I believe the Supreme Court will be hearing this petition, but clearly, Nabila, the news has not reached them yet. They are continuing the demolition drive even when the Supreme Court has already passed a stay order with a hearing that has to happen tomorrow. So ideally, the demolition drive should also stop in Delhi's Jahangirpuri. News is yet to reach these people who are operating the bulldozer here in Jahangirpuri.
Who is leading this massive anti-encroachment drive? Shreya, give us an understanding. Who are those who are leading the anti-encroachment drives? Also, tell us what's exactly put out in that petition that's reached the Supreme Court, to which the Supreme Court has now decided to stay this demolition drive. What's in that petition? What is the request that's been put forth before the Apex Court?
Well, Nabila, there are 2 petitions, I believe, that has been put forward. One for a demolition drive that's happening all across the country. 2 for a demolition drive that's happening separately in Delhi. Both was mentioned, with a request to be heard before the Chief Justice of India. Now, because the hearing will happen tomorrow, there's been a status quo. You can't carry out a demolition drive today. Only after a hearing happens and a follow-up. A judgment that's coming from the court, will this take place. So clearly, the fight has now reached the Apex Court. whether a demolition drive is right or not will now yet again be decided by the apex court. This has been the example for the past few cases where we've seen that matters in hand, especially so far considering about law and order, has been decided by the court. This is not going to be anything different, as the Supreme Court will now be giving their judgment on whether the demolition drive in Delhi should carry forward or not, as well as all the demolition drives that happened in across the country, like that in Khambat, like that in Khargon. Was it right? Can it be carried? So we'll have to wait and watch for the hearing tomorrow.
You know, stay with us. Let me quickly cut across to Aneesha Mathur, giving us some inputs from court coming in. Supreme Court, Aneesha, has now halted the bulldozing that's taking place right there at Jahangirpuri, the communally sensitive, violence-hit area. While the police is still about probing the matter and to try and find out who were those who were responsible for those communal clashes, here is the Delhi Municipal Corporation, run by the BJP, carrying out a massive anti-encroachment drive, to which the Supreme Court has now said a stay order has been issued. Stop it immediately. What was the petition that was filed in court, and now who conveys that message to these to the Delhi Municipal Corporation for them to stop?
Well, Nabila, to answer your question, the Supreme Court has issued a status quo order. 2 petitions filed by the Jamaat Ulema Hind today, saying that this kind of illegal, unconstitutional demolition drive cannot happen. The process for demolition involves that there has to be notice issued to the person whose houses or shops are to be demolished. No such notice was sent to the residents in Jahangirpuri. No opportunity given to them to appeal against this demolition order. That is why the Chief Justice's bench has agreed to hear this matter tomorrow. What is also important is that the Delhi High Court was also approached by petitioners, and the Delhi High Court has also set to hear this matter today at 2 p.m. The acting Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court has also asked the petitioners to show that they are legitimate residents of the area, and that what is being done, there was no notice given to them. Now, in both cases, the court officials will now be informing the municipal corporation. The lawyers for the municipal corporation will be issued notice by the Supreme Court authorities, and immediately, since this kind of an order is to be sent immediately to the police authorities and to the MCD, it is now for the Supreme Court registry to ensure that all the orders are sent immediately to the appropriate authorities. Even the petitioners can be asked to can get the order copies and send them to the required authorities. But it is effectively the government machinery, the MCD's lawyers in the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court registry, which is expected to immediately convey these orders to the authorities on the ground. But what is very, very interesting to see, Nabila, is that both the Supreme Court and the Delhi High Court have been approached immediately, and both courts have agreed to hear this matter. The Delhi High Court will hear it at 2 p.m. while the Supreme Court will hear it tomorrow morning. But status quo orders from the Supreme Court, which means that at this moment, no bulldozing should continue in Jahangirpuri. Of course, that will happen as soon as the authorities on the ground get the copies of the order. Back to you.
All right, you know, Aneesha, the petitions have put forth a pertinent point. No notices were given to any of these establishment owners to carry out this demolition drive. Has there been any justification on the side of the Delhi Municipal Corporation on this? Because we know that the communal clashes just occurred about 3 days ago, and post that the Delhi police was carrying out a massive investigation and nabbing all those culprits responsible for those communal clashes. And just in the nick of time, you have the Delhi Municipal Corporation, run by the BJP, now carrying out an anti-encroachment drive, a large-scale one in Jahangirpuri area, without notices being issued to them.
Well, Nabila, these are 2 different issues. The riots that had occurred have nothing to do with the demolition drive. Of course,
nothing to do, but the timing is in question.
The timing, of course, is in question. That is what I'm saying. Legally, you cannot order a demolition drive just because there was a riot in a place, or you believe that somebody who is a criminal is involved or is living in some place. Legally, what you need to do is issue a proper notice, say that XYZ property has been identified as illegal encroachment. Give the property owner time to approach the court or the appropriate authorities for an appeal against this. Nothing was done in this.
Right, you know, Aneesha, stay with us. Just as we speak, Arvind Ojha is currently right at the spot where the demolition drive is being carried out. Let me cut across to Ojha, who's bringing us those live shots.
Hello?
Well, that's Arvind Ojha there. Remember, a team of reporters from India Today who are currently on ground, bringing us all those details coming in from that very communally sensitive hotbed where communal clashes occurred just about 3 days ago. And while the Delhi police carrying out a massive investigation on who is exactly responsible for those clashes, who are those men behind those communal clashes, here in the same Jahangirpuri area, you have now carrying out a massive anti-encroachment drive like we saw happening in Uttar Pradesh.
हमें कुछ भी नहीं बोला है, हमें बोल देता। मैंने खुद 2 बार पूछा हूँ।
कितने साल से आपने बताया?
30 साल से हूँ। पीछे बचपन से तो यहीं पे हूँ, लेकिन दुकान मेरा 30 साल से यहीं पे।
30 साल से दुकान था। और वो जो अकबर है वो आपके हस्बैंड ऊपर है ना?
कौन? हाँ, वो ऊपर है। वो क्या करेंगे टेंशन में? क्या बोलेंगे? अभी वो निकलेंगे, उनको भी अभी फंसा देंगे।
तो आप लोगों को पता था कि यहाँ पर इस तरह से हो सकता है, लेकिन बावजूद इसके ये नहीं पता था कि आप ही का टूट जाए?
ये हमें मालूम। हम जब मैंने सुबह बोला हूँ, पूछा हूँ ना, वो कह रहे कबाड़ा हटाएंगे, जो पार्किंग है उधर है, सारा कबाड़ा हटाएंगे, सिर्फ यही बोला है।
आप लोग कितने परिवार इसमें रहते हैं?
हम 5 है, 3 लड़का, 2 मियाँ बीवी है।
आप सबका इसी से रोजी रोटी?
बंधन लाख, अब बंधन वाले से पूछ लो, 2 लाख का है। आज ये किस जाना 12,000 में, कहाँ से भरो, कहाँ से भरो?
तो ये सब जो इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन है, इसके लिए पहले से तो पुलिस ने बोला ही हुआ था कि हटाना।
नहीं बोला, कुछ भी नहीं। किसने बोला? उनको बोला, जिसने बोला है, जिसने बोला उनको यहाँ पे खड़ा करो। जिसने
अभी बताओ क्या हुआ?
उनको खड़ा करो मेरे सामने। किसने मुझे बोल के गया?
आप बताओ।
उनको खड़ा करो। इतना मैडम,
ठीक है, चलिए, ठीक है, चलिए। ये आपने उनकी बात सुनी है। यहाँ पर जो पहली दुकान यहाँ पर गिरी थी, उसमें यही लोग शामिल। और अब आप देख रहे हैं, यहाँ से दूसरे वाले इलाके में चलते हैं, जहाँ पर पुलिस की कार्रवाई इस वक्त भी हो रही है। ये देखिए, ये वाला पूरा हिस्सा है। अरविंद ओझा हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए। अरविंद, वहाँ पर इस वक्त क्या हो रहा है? क्या सुप्रीम कोर्ट की तरफ से जो स्टेटस को का फैसला सुनाया गया है वो पहुंच चुका है? क्या उसी की वजह से अब हम देख रहे हैं क्रेन कम से कम इस चौराहे के आसपास से हट गई है? अरविंद
जी बिल्कुल अंजना, और मैं आपको तस्वीर एक बार दिखाऊं जहां आप खड़ी हैं। और जो तस्वीर आप दिखा रही थी, मैं बताऊं, वही तस्वीर कल हल्ला बोल पर हमने एक्सक्लूसिव दिखाई थी। वहीं पर से हिंसा की शुरुआत हुई थी। और यहां पर देखिए, यहां पर 2 बुलडोजर वो एक्शन में लगातार लगे हुए हैं। यहीं से आगे कबाड़ी मार्केट है, जो कबाड़ी मार्केट पर सवाल उठ रहे थे, वहां पर बुलडोजर का एक्शन जारी है। जबकि दूसरी तरफ हम दिखाने की कोशिश करेंगे, यहाँ पर छोटी छोटी झुग्गियां बनाई थी। और नॉर्थ एमसीडी के कमिश्नर ने आज तक से अभी एक्सक्लूसिव बातचीत की है। उनका कहना है कि कुछ दिन पहले भी हमने यहाँ पर इलीगल इंक्रोचमेंट पर, अवैध निर्माण पर कार्रवाई की थी, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी यहाँ पर लोग मानते नहीं है और अवैध निर्माण करते हैं। जिसके बाद यहाँ पर जो बुलडोजर का एक्शन है लगातार जारी है। आज तक से पहला रिएक्शन, जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर आया, पहला रिएक्शन नॉर्थ एमसीडी जो है उन्होंने दिया है। उनका कहना, हमारे पास अभी ऑर्डर की कॉपी नहीं आई है, लिहाजा एक्शन जारी रहेगा। और इन सबके बीच जो बुलडोजर का एक्शन है वो अब इस इलाके में जारी है अभी भी।